Welcome to Harry's Hook. I am a journalist, big fan of boxing. I've written published articles on it. I also train and spar. Today, we're talking Saul Canelo Alvarez. Okay, he has a fight coming up in September against Charlo. And that made me think, over the course of Canelo's legendary career, there have been two fights, two different opponents who I believe changed Canelo as a boxer, and so I'm going to discuss how. But first, if you enjoy this content, do me a solid, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your support. Alright, let's go in chronological order. So, the first fight, some of you may have guessed. Let me take you back to 2013, Floyd Mayweather versus a 23-year-old Canelo Alvarez. That fight was Canelo's first loss. It was a majority decision for Floyd Mayweather, but any viewer with a brainstem and spinal fluid knew that that was a criminal decision because CJ Ross gave an atrocious scorecard and did not judge after that. It was really a schooling. It was a beatdown by a 36-year-old Floyd Mayweather. He dominated Canelo with his footwork, with his defense, with his sharp counters. He efficiently and effectively outboxed Canelo. He used that lead shoulder brilliantly. He utilized his footwork both aggressively and defensively. And his head movement was superb. And he was stinging Canelo with counters that had enough pop on them to keep Saul honest. Canelo has spoken on multiple occasions about how that fight really hurt his pride, but also helped him improve. But where exactly did he improve, besides the humility of taking a loss? Well, I think it was where he was most outclassed, which was by Floyd's defense. He and his team evolved his defense. They put more focus on it, and by improving his defense, he also enhanced his counterpunching abilities. Just about 2 years later, when he stepped in against Miguel Cotto, Canelo was outboxing Cotto for long stretches of the fight, utilizing those more refined skills. When he fought Amir Khan in 2016, he was at first taken off guard a bit by Khan's speed, and I mean, who isn't? But Canelo then proceeded to outbox Khan, dialing in those defensive abilities and nearly nailing Khan with a pull counter right a la Floyd Mayweather, before he landed that iconic overhand. By the time 2019 rolled around, he made Daniel Jacobs, a boxer with legitimate skills in his own right, look absolutely foolish at times with his head movement, with that upper body movement. The fact is, Canelo has shown phenomenal growth since that 2013 fight against Floyd Mayweather, perhaps the greatest master of defense this sport has ever seen. The second fight that changed Canelo as a boxer was his first bout against Gennady Golovkin back in 2017. It was a major physical and psychological test for Canelo. In the first few rounds, Canelo seemed fairly comfortable boxing with Golovkin, but in the middle rounds, as Max Kellerman noted, Golovkin had become an avalanche. He had taken control of the ring and the fight. He was backing Alvarez up, forcing him to really take a posture of evading and countering. Golovkin was the aggressor. He was the boss. Before the final 3 rounds, we saw Eddie Reynoso, Canelo's coach, give Canelo in the corner his version of Teddy Atlas's "We are firemen! We are firemen!" Paraphrasing a bit from the HBO translation, but he was telling Canelo to put your balls into it, that these last 3 rounds are for your life. And what did he do in those final 3 rounds? He went toe-to-toe with Golovkin. Well, more than he did before. He learned to trust his chin and to trust his defense, even against a fearsome puncher like Golovkin, and to remain aggressive with him. And he had success doing it in those rounds. By the time the rematch came about a year later, Canelo fought a totally different fight right from the opening bell. He was much more aggressive and way less willing to cede the center of the ring to Golovkin. He became much more of a search and destroy pressure fighter after that first bout against Golovkin, and I think it was particularly in those final 3 rounds that this transition, that this transformation happened. And in the fight since, I really think he's taken that style, that Julio Cesar Chavez, that Gennady Golovkin kind of pressure, walk you down, search and destroy while outboxing you, and would do it against anyone. And that right there is Harry's Hook. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are there other fights from Canelo's past that really shaped him into the kind of boxer he is today?